Yeah, good evening to all. Yeah, let's see, we'll start the class. Right. So previous day we have discussed here again some, we have started with the AWS footprints we have seen. Very good graphical presentation was there from AWS, right? We have seen that availability zones are there. In the same way, regions are there. Under regions we have availability zones are there. Under that we have uh, uh, POP, point of presence, to improve performance, to get very high performance for the applications. So like this, like infrastructure we have gone through here in the previous class, which is important for us to get the idea how the AWS is working. Okay, so uh, what is we have seen, see, like regions we have seen, worldwide regions are there. Just 1 second. I think already it is recording. Right, recording. So check here, like we have seen that regions are there. Under that we have availability zones are there. Regions are basically locations we have seen, different locations, okay, throughout the globe. But availability zones are, this is our Mumbai. Availability zones are there where we have data centers, actually minimum 2 data centers we have seen. So in Virginia we have seen 6 data centers are there in availability zone. We can say one availability zone is one data center, as well as it can have multiple also in some locations. Point of presence, we have seen another very important concept where, see, zones are there in required some location, but if you see, point of presence are there here everywhere here to cover point of presence. Right. So throughout the globe is it means to get very high performance. We have this point of presence, means we have seen, like if the user is browsing the data, okay, from some location, so automatically the resources are placed nearby to the point of presence. Okay, so that will get very high performance. In the same way, to maintain the resources, duplicate resources, basically is here, like with the help of replication. Why? Because if you are deploying some resource in one region, that resource is maintained in different regions, duplicate resources. For that purpose, we have point of presence are there. They are there almost all across the globe. We have seen point of presence. So here also, here in India also we have a zone is there. In that means region is there. In that we have 3 availability zones are there, and 3 point of presence are there here for fast access. Right. Next one we have seen, like we can create the free tier account. We can create, after creating free tier account, we can log in here with the free tier account. Okay, so AWS free tier you can also create with some authentication, either debit card or credit card. So here, create a free account. To start working with, we need to create a free account. Right. Check here, like we can provide some email ID, we can provide password, confirm password, account name, account name. Choose a name for your account. You can change this name in your account settings after you sign up. Some account name. So after mentioning this account name, it will ask the personal information. It will ask, after that it will ask the authentication information, where we can make the authentication. We can authenticate here with the help of some credit card or debit card. Why? Because if authentication is not there, why? Because today credit card is the best option, or debit card is the best option to authenticate. Otherwise, if these AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google people, if they are not authenticating, then problem is there. So a developer can write a script to create hundreds of accounts without authentication, right? That's why authentication is almost all compulsory. That's why for authentication, they will generally say like we have to provide the card information. Actually, here in case of India, 2 rupees are deducted from our card. They are added back to our account after 1 2 days. Okay, 2 rupees are deducted for authentication purpose. Then they are added back to our account automatically. Okay, so that is that is how we can, yeah, we can verify here. Just now once the account is ready, now we can log in here, sign in with the existing AWS account. Even here, like if you have like a Amazon Prime or Amazon.in, right? Our e-commerce site is there. Even if you have valid account, Amazon.in account, with that account also we can sign in. Okay, so that is we can create a free account here. After creating a free account, you can log in, or you can log in with your Amazon Prime account, or you can log in with your Amazon this e-commerce site account. Okay, right. So feel free to type if you have any queries are there in the chat panel, please. Why? Because it is better to make the session as interactive session so that it should be useful for us. Okay, right, right. So that is yes. Now, sir, in my scenario, in my case, already account is ready. Directly, I will sign in. Previous day before yesterday, I have created one account. With that account, I will sign in here. Or we have seen that URL is there, console dot sorry console.aws.amazon.com. See here, this is our AWS console is there, where we can log in, we can work with all the services, we can manage our accounts, we can perform any activities here. Okay, one option is there, directly we can connect through this console. One option is there, we can connect through some third-party tools also we can use for connecting. But as a account owner, we'll see that what is the hierarchy is there here in the AWS. For example, if I create a new account, I will become root user as well as I will become IAM user. IAM user. IAM is there here, identity and access management. IAM. Identity and access management. By default, remember, whenever you create a account in the AWS, automatically yeah, you are the root user as well as IAM user. We'll see that major differences we'll see. Actually, root user is like a owner. For example, you are the company owner. You are hiring 5 employees to work in the company. Let's say 5 directors are there in the company. So owner, yeah, as a owner, I have a root account. For example, I can do anything. But as a CEO or as a manager, will have this or department head in a company, they have IAM user account. Okay, as a owner, I am root user as well as I will become automatically IAM user also. Identity and access management. We'll see this in today's class. after seeing some practical things. Okay, that's what remember understood, right? Briefly. So they are saying here account owner that perform task requiring unrestricted access. As a account owner, I can perform any task in AWS. Okay, any task as a account owner. But IAM user is there. User within an account that performs daily task means let's say you are employees. I think it is clear, right? As a company owner, I have root user account. For example, let's say as a company owner, you will hire like five departments are there. In each department, you want to hire one department head or users. In that department, employees are there. They will work with this IAM users here. Identity and access management, very important concept. We'll discuss that later. Identity and access management, IAM. Okay, right. As part of today's session, we'll see this some more detailed information. Right now, let's say I will log in now by using this as a root user. I am connecting here by using email ID. But if I click on IAM user, it is asking account ID. It is asking here, not email ID, account ID. Okay, so that's one. But like I think it is briefly, it is clear, right? What is the root user and what is IAM user? It is clear or confusion is there? Root user is what? Owner. As a owner, what I will do? So I want to create the users. Means in a company, as a company owner, I want to create the users for my company employees. Okay, maybe one employee is manager, one employee is team lead, one employee is normal employee. For example, for that employees, remember, I will create this IAM user. I will create, then I will add them to some roles. But I am the topmost owner for this account as a root user. Root user is the topmost authority who can have complete control on this account, AWS account. Right. It is, yeah, I think briefly understood, right? Srikant Sai Babu. Briefly, what is root user? What is IAM user? Yes. Please respond, Raju. If it is not clear, you tell me. I will repeat one more time. Actually, we have to see this in detail later again. What are the privileges are there for this user? What are the privileges are there for this IAM user? Okay.
No,
Right.
I don't have
Yes.
it.
Sorry, Raju. Got
No, it
some
is
idea?
clear.
Clear.
It
Okay.
is clear.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Rajshekar Reddy, just to make the class interactive, I am
Yes,
asking.
sir. Yes, sir. It's clear,
Don't
sir.
don't feel anything. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Mishra, Mishra ji. It is clear or any confusion is there?
No, sir, clear. I can clearly audible it, and
Audible. Yeah,
there.
understood. Right? What is the main difference between root user and IAM user?
Yeah, I'm putting myself mute so that any kind of
Right, right,
disturbance will not.
right,
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Right then, I think yeah. If any simple doubt is there, please type in the chat panel. So immediately I will try to answer. Always it is better to make the session as interactive, just instead of listening going. You have to ask the questions apart according to this current topic. So if any simple clarity you want, I will repeat one more time. There is no issue for me. So I have very good experience, almost all. I'm with 40 plus age, but have very good patience also. Any simple doubt I will try to answer. Why? Because that is the main purpose of taking training, right? So taking training main purpose is what? To get the doubts clarification, plus to get some yeah, real-time yeah, experience scenarios. That is the main purpose today, right? So check here if want to let's say I am connecting by using here IAM user. Even I can connect by using this root user as well as IAM user also. Why? Because whenever we are creating a new AWS account, for example, here, uh, if I type something, so it is asking some. Actually, I'm not creating, but already it is there account. Here we have to understand it is asking here AWS account name also it is asking account name. So this account name why it is asking, it will create a root user with this email ID. It will create a account IAM account with this name. See here as a owner I have both actually. I can work as a root user as well as I can work as a IAM user. That's why it is asking here. See. Okay, so like this, like how we are creating here accounts, how we are creating. Just to show you, for example, it is verifying already this email ID is there or not. Now it is asking what you want, which type of account you want, professional or personal, for example. So it is asking here some details it is asking. So we can mention these details. Next, it will ask for validations. Means we have seen by using some credit cards here. Something next, still our account is not ready. It is saying now sir for verification purpose here, credit or debit cards here for verification purpose. Okay, so expiry, all those details it is asking. Okay, so after verifying, like 2 rupees is deducted actually. After verifying, then it is yeah, will get back again. Okay, so yeah, refunds here in 3 to 5 days, you will get the 2 rupees back. Amazon is saying just for verification purpose. After that, say like yeah, we have seen like within this free account, some limitations are there. With that limitations, we can work with. If those limitations are crossed, for example, then the charges are there, but we'll get very clear information. This resource limitation is over for free account. You are going to be charged, or you want to continue. We can continue. Otherwise, yeah, we can avoid that. Here, see, we have seen free tier limitation limits also. Yesterday, we have seen. Right, right. So already I have created the account. I am not creating again. This is we'll go back here, but why it is asking this two names, we have to understand. Means email ID it is asking plus account name it is asking while creating the account. Why? Because for my email root user is created, with that account name one user is created. Let's say we'll connect to my free tier account. We'll see. Just remember, we are connecting to the console. We have to understand. If want to do anything in AWS, we can connect to the console. We can perform. Means as a owner, account owner, I can connect, as well as my employee also can connect. Next. Suppose, let's say I will create some users for Srikant or Raju or Rajshekhar, for example. So you can also connect. I can grant the permission also. Srikant should work only with applications. Raju should work only with database services. Rajshekhar should work only with the storage. Okay, so Mishra can work only with networking. Like this here, I can grant the authorizations. I can provide authorizations after
Uh,
creating the. Yeah,
the
yes,
interrupt. I have a doubt, sir.
yeah, Mishra, yes,
Yeah, sir, if you will like as you are having the root access,
correct,
so
correct,
you
correct,
the authorization. But if you can give any of, like you told, I will work on the network, someone will work on database like that. But is it
correct,
possible right to give us also any of us
correct.
right to do?
Understood what you are asking. Yeah, Mishra
Yeah,
is
yeah.
asking one question. So I am the company owner, for example. So I have my root account, but let's say as a company owner, he will not sit always in the company, right? So I want to make Mishra as my managing director. For example, just I'm saying, not these terms are not there in AWS, just for understanding purpose. So that Mishra can make, he can create the users. For example, he will grant the privileges, right? Mishra, you are asking the same,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes. Means
Right,
on
right,
behalf
correct,
of
correct, correct,
can
correct.
anyone?
Understood. Understood, right? Yes, that's why that is the, yeah, main thing actually. IAM user is there. So IAM user means not only normal user. As a company owner, I can make someone as again some department head, for example. That department head again can create the users. He can grant the privileges. Okay, so it's not meaning that this IAM user is not like normal user. Even I can add him to some role. He can create the users. He can grant the privileges. Why? Because this this root user we are not using to connect regularly to avoid security related problems. Remember, as a owner, I can connect, but I am not there in the company. Someone is taking care of my company. Mishra is taking care of my company, for example. So I will create a user, IAM user for Mishra. I will add him to some role so that Mishra can create users. He can grant privileges. Even Mishra allow some other employee to create the users. Like this here, hierarchy we have to understand. We'll see this in the same concept. IAM, identity and access manage. Identities are nothing but users. Access management is nothing but what? Permissions. Right. Let's say I'm connecting with my root actually. Means if I want to customize billing, if I want to customize anything in this account, if I want to create the policies, anything in this account, I can do with this root user, right? We'll see tomorrow again in the next class in detail some more differences. One question is there from Raju is asking, if I have Amazon account, so can I connect directly with user ID password? He is asking. Yes, you can connect, right? It verified account, right? Correct. So check here. Now this is our console. We have to understand AWS Management Console. See here, we'll go through all the options in the console. What is there in which place? What is the purpose? Everything's here. After that, we'll see something, one, two examples. Right. Let's say we'll go to console now. So check here, like now So I want to here see what I'm doing. Find services. Here see we can find any service what we need. For example, I want to create a database. I want to deploy one application. I want to create some storage. I want to create some machines, for example. Okay, virtual machines. I want to create virtual networks. Anything here, we can search here. We can start working. And recently used services it is showing. I have checked billing details. I have checked, for example, EC2. Elastic Cloud Computing. Basically, EC2 are there here, services are there here to create the machines. We'll see again. This is the search is there, very powerful search is there. For example, I want to go with IAM. See here, manage access to AWS resources. IAM will get the IAM dashboard. Will get where we can manage the users and we can manage the access control. See here. Okay, so we can create the users here, we can create the groups here, roles are there, policies we can define, means which user can access from which place, policies we can define. So identity providers like my account settings, various options are there here. One by one we'll see. It is showing summary, it is showing summary, it is showing what is available right now right now. So in the same way, if I go to right, so here see like if I want to create a user, I can create here new user. We can create. Later we'll see. Not going with this. We'll see this identity our next class. So now sir, I will go back to my console. If I click on the AWS icon, we'll go back to our console by default. Console management. Right here, see I have browsed right now IAM. That's why it is showing. Just remember, very important point. Identity access management is the web service which controls the identities, means users, roles, groups, and access management, their access privileges. Means tomorrow you want to create one employee, you want to allow some employee to work with a storage, for example. So first we have to create a user here, then we have to grant the respective privileges on the respective resources. Then he can work with that resources here. Any resource if you want to grant privileges, we have to work with IAM. We'll start with that. Then it is showing here, see all services we can see here, see they are grouped actually here. Compute related services are there, where we can work with virtual machines, various things. Container services are there for a registry kind of thing. Storage services are there to work with the storage. Database services are there to work with different types of databases. Almost all the databases are available here. If I say RDS, Relational Database Service, so here we have all the databases are available, including Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, all those options are available here. So check here like Amazon Aurora, MySQL, Postgre, yeah, various databases we can create here. We'll see that again in our RDS concept. Okay, again separate dashboard is there for each service. A very simple creation and maintenance is also very simple for us. So I'll go back to console again. Right. So here see like machine learning related services are there, like analytics related services are there, data science and analytics related. Migration services are there here. Means if you want to migrate the resources from on-premises to AWS or from other cloud platforms, for example, from Google Cloud or from Azure, so we can migrate here. Networking services are there, very important for us. networking. So where we can create the virtual networks, VPNs, gateways, we can create. Developer tools are there for our development people. Like some other features are there, say different, almost all we have seen 175 plus services. 175 plus services here. Various services are there, mobile related, where we can deploy the application. This is, we have seen IAM. IAM. Like this, various services are there. Group is there, or we can click here. By default, it is showing here group wise. It is showing. So we can change into A to Z also. Like with different types of views are there. Down it is showing like shortcuts they have given here by using the wizard. If you want to create a machine within 2 to 3 minutes, we can create a machine. If you want to build a web application within 6 minutes, you can create, it is saying. Elastic Bean Stack is there here to build the web application. Means already you have developed the web application with Java, .NET, okay, PHP. So directly we can deploy the web application here by just creating one web app. Right. So build using virtual servers with light sail means we can create multiple virtual servers. We can create, register a domain. We can register a new domains here. So like this, like for learning purpose, we can do the learning activities from here. Plus, if I go to top here, resources are there. Even say like we can. One question is there. Just 1 second. Yeah, Raju is saying okay. Here say like even we can share mobile app. We can download the Android and iOS mobile app. We can download here through mobile app. Also, we can control this console. We can connect to the console. We can start working here from the mobile app. Both the options are there. Right. So let's say we'll see here. This is our home. We know already. The services here, same services we can see, which are grouped actually. Just now we have seen. Those are regularly used services. Here see highlighted are what regularly used services, but here complete services are there again. We can click on this. It will show you respective services. Right. So we can check here all the services we can see in the services menu. Billing details we can see here also we can see, later we'll see. Check here as we can see the service, we can type here some service I want. Relational database means it is showing here RDS. Means we can filter here. We can search easily, as well as here like group wise it is showing, we can say A to Z. So means alphabetical order also we can see the services. Means if we are unable to see some service, we can see in alphabetical order. By default, they are grouped here in the respective categories. Right. That is like we can search from here. We can start using any service. Right. So those are the services option is there. Next one we have like resource group is there here. Very, very important for us. Resource group. Just remember to start creating any resources. It may be AWS or it may be Microsoft Azure. First steps here, we have to create a resource group. Resource group. So that let's say I want to create some one development environment is there. For development environment, I want to create a web application. Okay, plus one database server I want, application server plus database server for a development environment. For that purpose here, first I will create a resource group. In that resource group, I will create these two servers, application server and database server, for example. Just remember hierarchy, we have to understand. In a account, here AWS account is there. In that we have to create the resource group. In that resource group, we have to create the resources, similar resources basically. Suppose let's say if I want to monitor this resource building, or if I want to delete these resources, all the 6 resources at a time, or if I want to take these resources into another resource group or another account, then we have to use this resource group we have to use here. Resources are nothing but what? Any virtual machines or networks or storage, anything here. All these are called resources, databases, everything. Okay, so just to manage the resources, to monitor the resources easily, to control these resources, to migrate these resources from one account to another account, to delete these resources, to monitor the billing related to these resources, we have to go with the resource group. Okay, so this is our account is there. Okay, right. So that's why resource group is very, very important for us. Check here, like saved groups, it is showing. We have create a resource group option is there. Create a group. Actually, remember while creating the resource, it will ask you to create the resource group if you want, or select the resource group. Why? Because to create any resource, we have to create a resource group first. Okay, so after creating the resource group, in that resource group, actually, we have to place the resources actually. So it will show us here group resources right now. In that, after creating the resource group, if I go to that group, it will show you how many machines are there in this group, how many databases are there, how many storage accounts are there, how many network components are there. We can see. Again, they are saying select a group type to define a group based on resource types and tags. Create a group based on your existing cloud stack, something it is saying. Tags are there here, another important concept we'll see. Like we can select here like a resource group, we can select here. So depends on, like, directly we can create a resource group, or based on this stack based also we can create. Select resource type, it is asking here which type of resources you want to create in this resource group, it is asking. Okay, so let's say I want to create a database cluster in that resource group. Like this, like we can mention here tag, we can mention value, we can mention tags are there. We'll see again. Next point we'll see. Important point. So group details here, group name. Let's say resource group for RDS, relational databases. By default here, like it is saying, starts with a letter and can only contain letters, numbers, and hyphens. Okay, so it is saying like some resource group name, any name, a group description, which is optional. Actually, remember, just name is required for us, resource group name. Okay, so tags are optional. We'll see that what is tag, right? So if I say create a group, for example, it is saying tag based we have selected. That's why tag it is asking development, sorry, environment is development. I'm saying tag. Okay, so we'll see that next tag concept. Group is ready, it is saying here. In the region what? East, US East 2. Actually, we can, while creating the resource group, we can change the region here. See, in which region you want to create the resource group. See here, by default, it has selected East US 2, US East 2. We can change here, see where we need to place the resources here. Okay, Asia Pacific we have seen on Mumbai. In Mumbai also we can create. Already we know where the users are there, where the clients are there. In same location, we have to create the resources actually. Okay, the same location or nearby locations. That is like resource groups are there, saved resource groups. It is showing one resource group is there. Okay, actually we can define the owner privileges also. After creating a IAM user, we can define also like Mishra should access this resource group resources. Like this here we can define the owners, we can define. Just remember later we'll see permissions we can define actually on this resource group. So I think what is resource group? Understood, right? If want to create any resource, not only here in AWS, we have to understand it may be any cloud platform. First, remember we have to create a resource group. After creating a resource group only, we can create the resources. Right. Right. So like again for resources, resource groups tagging something is there. We'll see again. Like here, see resource group is there. I will go back to my console home page. Resource groups are there. We can see what are the saved groups we can create. Tag editors are there. Tagging is there. One more concept we have to understand. Check here. For example, again here for example, this is one scenario. What is tagging? We'll see. Check here. This is my account is there. AWS account is there. In the account already we know we can have multiple resource groups here. This is resource group 1, resource group 2. Okay, so in resource group 1, for example here resource group 1.
Uh, Sorry for the interruption. I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is there any limitation how many resources we can have in a group, or like it's not
Uh,
unlimited? We
uh,
can do.
Correct. No limit is there here.
Okay,
Number
okay.
of
We can
resources you
when
can
we
deploy,
want,
right?
right?
How many you want? Generally for grouping purpose it is for easy maintenance. Why?
Okay,
Because
got
you have you want to practice something. Let's say you have created some resources. You want to delete everything, clean up. Just delete the resource group. Everything is deleted. Right. So
okay.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Check here like two resource groups are there. Resource group 1, resource group 2. For example, here see this resource group is there. Group 1 is there for applications or front end part. For example, applications. This resource group 2 I have created for databases. Just one scenario I am saying why we are going for tagging. What is the meaning of tagging? Theoretically, we'll see again in detail. Just here two resource groups are there in one account, for example. Right. So now resource group 1, resource group 2. In this resource group, I have deployed the application, right? Web application, one service is there, right? So in that I have placed one application. This is for production. This is for development. This is for testing. Means three application, means same application in three environments I have deployed. This is for production, development, testing. Same I am maintaining here. See three databases I am maintaining. For example, production one database, development one database, testing one database. For example, separate. But you see, these resources are there in two resource groups, for example, okay, related to production, development, testing. So now what you want, I want to See, again, I want to categorize these related resources which are there in different resource groups. Okay, so here some resources are there in this group, here some resources, but why? Because these two resources are related to what? Production environment. At that time, I will go with tagging. I will say here tag environment key value. Value is what? Production. For this resource also, I will tag like this. Means enter resource group level also we can use tagging, or individual resource level also we can use tagging. Environment is equal to production. Right. Here see like for example here I am using key environment dev. Here also environment dev, for example. Just a key value pairs actually. So now what I will do, if I apply this tagging, so in the search what you can do, you can go to tags, you can type environment is equal to production, for example. At that time it will list out these both the resources, it will list out which are there in two different resource groups here. The resources which are there in different resource groups, we are going to identify with the help of here tagging. In the same way, tagging wise also we can see billing, we can see tag wise also we can see billing. Resource group wise we can see billing. Tag wise also tag production. The resources which are there with this tag, we can see what is the billing, is there monthly or weekly or daily, hourly billings we can see here with the help of tagging. Tomorrow we'll come back again with resource groups and tagging. Once again, I will discuss. Just remember, tags are there to make to identify the resources which are related to a specific environment and which are there in different resource groups. Okay, so that is the purpose of here tagging. Tomorrow we'll see something more elaborated, but I will show you something like how we are creating one. Let's say I want to create one Linux machine in AWS, or I want to create some storage or network. Just we'll see one example, we'll see. Then we'll start again tomorrow with other these concepts again. So here see we can pin here required services, we can pin actually. Here means regularly use services you can pin here instead of searching daily, so we can pin here your regularly used services. For example, let's say I want to use regularly, I am working with some services like RDS, for example here relational database management service. Just pin here so that you can use this regularly. Directly from here itself you can open. No need to search regularly, no need to select that services. Just remember that is just we can do this yeah, pinnings here. So work mail I want here. So okay, just remember regularly use services we can tag here. Let's say I want to work with the EC2 regularly, I want to work, just we are customizing our console. So AWS app sync service I want like this here. What is the purpose of this? Okay, uh, option is there here. See, we can do the pinning. We have seen like same thing. We can put a pin or okay. So we have seen here. If I go to desktop, we can say pin, right? Pin and pin, same thing. Just regularly use services we can place here. Immediately we can navigate. See here. Means we can customize our console. Just we have to understand by using this option, right? Next one here. Next one here we have some notification icon bell is there. So here we can see what are the notification icons are there. Here you can see open issues are there. One issue something it is showing. Here see East US EC2 operational issue. Error it is showing. We have identified the cause of the increased API error rates in a single availability zone in East US region and continue working towards resolution. Customers experiencing errors launching new EC2 instances may attempt to launch their EC2 instances in another zone. Just say like announcements they are showing, schedule changes, other notifications in the dashboard. So event log is also there where we can see the events here. So what we have done at we can see the events also what is done in the respective region, right? So check here, events are there, schedule changes we can see here means what Amazon is has scheduled to perform some changes, other notifications. Then this is my account name, IAM user names here. My account, I can see organization details, service quotas, my service quotas here. Already we know we are going with free tier, right? Free tier. We can see that we can see how much we have, how much quota is there. For example, for our which services quota, how much quota we can see here. Okay, limits actually. Limits we can see here. In the same way, like we can see my billing dashboard. We can see what is the current month billing, previous month billing, even like resources, we can see the billing. So which resource is using how much cost. Okay, even we can configure the alerts also, we can configure. Okay, alerts we can configure whenever this resource usage is above $20, $30, $100, we'll get email notification. Right now 0 it is saying in my, here we can see monthly bills, we can see invoices, we can see, right? So in the same way, like payment methods, we can see we can change the payment method, tax settings, all the account details we have to understand. Okay, so which month bills you want to see, we can check here. Budgeting we can do actually here, budgets we can allocate actually see here. So I want for databases this budget, for virtual machines this budget. We can define the budgets also here so that it should not cross that budget without our notice. Right. So in the same way, like orders and invoices, we can see security credentials. If you want to change the credentials, username, something, we can see, we can do sign out. Here, see, where do you want to place here? Billing does not require, but while deploying the services we have seen, it will show you yeah. So where do you want to deploy, it will show, we can select here while deploying region, it we can select here, we can create the resource group, we can create the resources. Then remember, like we can support center is there, we can raise the support also if want some tickets, means something is not working, so we can raise the support also, support center is there. We can go to forums also, documentation, other resources here. These are like main console information. We have just gone through the console. Okay, right. So what we'll do, like yeah, we'll continue again the tomorrow's class. We'll see tomorrow's class. Just we'll create some virtual machines. We'll create one storage, one network component. Later we'll start with IAM. IAM. We'll go with the second module. Today we have seen briefly what is root account and IAM user. Then we'll see user management, multi-factor authentication is there. All those one by one. We'll start with module 2 in the tomorrow's class. Okay, again in detail from scratch. Right, right. So If any queries are there, please send the queries to our team. I will try to answer. Or you can ask once you start tomorrow's class, you can ask any queries, or in the middle also, as we have discussed today, Mishra and some other people. You can ask the questions at any time in the class. Okay, right. So right then, we'll start with module 2. We'll see the account differences. We'll see again more details, root user and IAM user. Then we'll see how to create the users, how we can, what are the different roles are there in IAS, IAM for AWS, and working with those roles. Okay, the tomorrow's class. Right. So right then, thank you again. Take care and bye. We'll continue again tomorrow. Maybe you will get the recordings and materials. I think once you register, you can talk with our people, front office people. Right. Right then, thank you for all people. Good night. Take care and bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.